The Trump administration notified the United Nations earlier this month that the U.S. is officially withdrawing from the Paris Agreement. That's an international pledge made by nearly 200 nations to cut greenhouse gas emissions.
The U.S. is the first country to leave the agreement, a process that takes a year to complete. Many countries involved in the agreement collaborate on climate research.
One example of this is a recent special report created by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Ted Scher from Northern Arizona University wrote part of this report, and I spoke with him recently about his research.
An IPCC special report released in September zeroed in on the ocean, the liquid parts and the frozen parts. Ted Scher is interested in the frozen, but it's difficult to research that from sunny Arizona.
I do a lot of my field work in Alaska. What's very unique about it is that even though there's a forest growing, if you dig into the ground, it's frozen.
He digs to find carbon, which helps scientists understand how quickly the climate is changing. And some of these changes hit close to home.
For people in Arizona, this sounds far away, but it turns out that the changes that are happening there are affecting people no matter where you live.
Some of the secrets to climate change can be found in frozen soil. And no, this isn't a burrito.
This dark brown is 40 to 50% carbon. There's all of this organic carbon locked up, and when that starts to get warmer and it thaws, it turns into these greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide and methane. Those are released back into the atmosphere, and that affects climate everywhere, including the temperatures in Phoenix.
Elaine Pegg works in Scher's lab at NAU.
These were collected from Healy, Alaska.
She's monitoring the carbon dioxide levels in these soil samples. She puts mason jars in these coolers, attaches tubes, and after the carbon dioxide levels are calculated, all the data is sent right to her computer. And for the gas to be analyzed, everything else has to be filtered out. That's where Chris Ebert comes in.
We ultimately turn the carbon dioxide into carbon, graphite, and that's how it's analyzed for C14. This gives us a chance to make sure there isn't any atmospheric gases trapped in with the carbon dioxide. It's frozen on this side, and it's really, really hot on that side.
Another special IPCC report from 2018 finds that if global temperatures rise by more than 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit in the coming decades, species will go extinct, sea levels will continue to rise, and our food and water supply will decrease.
You know, the Earth is going to continue to change and the climate will change, but we have choices to make, and we could alter the future that we end up in.
Scientists are already working on a series of IPCC reports due out over the next 3 years. The goal is to raise questions and understanding about climate change.